I'm going to be doing a live with a female by the name of Omega, one of the first females that I seen had a hip hop shop here on the West Coast. So we're definitely going to get into that. And thank you guys for joining. Let me just get Omega. I see that you joined in. So 1 second. Morning. Hey,
Hello. Good
how's it?
morning.
Morning.
How are you doing today?
Pretty good. I actually had got the day off today.
Nice. That's a good thing.
What is that? What is
That's
that in the background right there?
that's my piece. I'm at my gallery. He'll make a gallery. This is what I've been up to
Oh,
lately. That's my
that's
work.
pretty. Yeah, that's pretty cool. How long have you
Yeah,
been?
thank you.
So can you let the people know a little bit about yourself though too, like a little bit of your history, because it'll be new to me as well.
Yeah, for real. Thank you for having me. First of all, I really appreciate this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, everything has its right time. And like we were talking earlier, like timing is everything, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I really feel you on how, bringing old school vibes back is
Yeah.
a really good, healthy, positive thing. So let
Mm-hmm.
me start with that when I go to back to my old school.
Okay.
Um, so back in like mid 80s, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
I was a skater and, I was like 16, 17. I'm in North Hollywood and all these trucks are driving
Okay.
by, so sorry for the noise. The city of glass, as I call it.
Okay.
So anyway, we'd be skating pools and we skating all city and, tagging and graffiti just kind of started integrating with the skating scene. And
Mm.
so yeah, that's where like, I don't know if y'all remember all that stuff, but that's where a lot of that started between skaters moving into the graffiti world.
Oh.
So that was me.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
old school, like 85, 86. And so,
Mm-hmm.
skating all city in Venice and Bali and 213s and just everywhere. So we'd be at these pools, these random like abandoned places and skating, and there'd be like pieces or tags, and that's when that caught my eye. I was like, I like this.
Okay.
I like that. It was feeling my rebelliousness. It was feeling my, because I skated for that reason too. It's like, when you crash and burn it,
It was just.
hurts. It almost hurts in a good way. You know what I mean? Because it's like back then we were just like rebellious kids, and our souls were just fucking on. Sorry,
Oh, it's okay.
I cuss like a sailor. I'll hold it back. But
Okay.
like our souls were on fire. Like we were kids. Like we had no outlet. Like it's different from today. Everyone's got social media, whatever. But for us, it was a skating, tagging, like bombing, and like eating it, and like feeling it on your skin and bleeding out. It's just like it was our way of like getting everything out. All that angst and rebellion and against the system and everything we didn't like, the rules.
Mm.
So basically, starting off that story with, basically, I think we're just all kind of pirates in our own way, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so, as an individual pirate, locking into that vibe of the whole graffiti world just resonated with me. And I was taking the bus back and forth, the 420 over the hill to Venice and skating with the Alva team and all these other crazy people.
Wow, you're skating with Alba?
Hell yeah. I mean, not on their team, but like with them, because they show up, like, homie with the dreads and everything else. And we have a launch ramp, like every weekend. We'd be down there at what's called the pavilion, which was a pavilion back then, but now it's all filled up with sand and people got like 4 inches of wall to paint. But
Mm.
that shit's 30 feet deep. That, that
Wow,
Venice
30
pavilion
feet?
is sick. So I was skating that shit, and then all this, sorry. Am I allowed to?
Yes, you can.
Okay. So I was skating all that, and then just going back and forth on the bus, and just seeing all the tags everywhere. It just all started hitting. It started hitting
Mm.
and passing
What,
through. You know,
what names would you see back then when you would see like the tags? Like what names stood out the most?
Snap, Skill, all the UTIs. Um.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was heavy on the 420s. Heavy.
And this
560,
is
420, 510, like all the RTD lines.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, like
Valley, All City, Over the Hill, and back and forth to like, Southgate. Like that's where we all kind of connected. And so that's where it hit. I was just like, I love this. I want to do this. I'm just like, I started writing, and then the first name I chose was Omega. I gotta say.
Omega.
Yeah,
Okay.
people were like, "Oh, how'd you choose Omega?" I was like, "I'm the 420 over the hill. I'm passing through like UCLA and like all this other stuff. I'm seeing all these like sorority houses, and one day it just like slapped me in the face, kind of ish. I was like, Omega, like it resonated. I'm like, yeah, there's a beginning, there's an alpha, and there's a epic ending.
Mm.
There's an Omega, and it just was like hitting. And so,
Mm.
yep, and I was, like 10, 11 grade at Grant, and all our skater
Okay.
and I was like hanging out with Els, and shout out to Els because he's OG.
Okay.
But yeah, that's where it all started. We're all just like a bunch of kids, like a bunch of hoodlums doing shenanigans, and
Who was your favorite skater back
oh
then?
my God, Hasoy,
It was the Soy, huh?
definitely. Oh, Hasoy and Hawk, and they did when
The Soy
I
Hawk.
was
Okay.
like 16, they did like a what they call them, a demo back
Mm-hmm.
then. They remember how they go around doing demos at Val Surf,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to say Coldwater, and I forgot what the other street was. But I was like, oh my God. And there was like hundreds of people in the line. And I went down there with my little shirt. They tagged up on my shirt. I was like, okay, this is awesome. And
Wow.
then later in the day, check this out. Like one of my favorite memories was at the shop. Like a couple of my favorite people rolled in, and one of them, Hasoy, rolled in one day. I was like,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
Have you
yeah.
seen them
It
lately?
all came full circle. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I kept it in. That was my inside voice.
Okay, okay. So yeah, let's jump into like, because I seen your YouTube video, but I didn't get a chance to watch it. But I want to know the origins of the hip hop shop.
Okay, the origins of the hip hop shop. This was so cool. It was okay. We started opening the shop in '90, so I would say this was like '89. So I was 19 years old,
Okay.
and I was making these really cool hats, and they were like all velvety. Like back in the '90s, I don't know if y'all remember, like the vibe back then was just so artsy and cool, and everybody had this unique style. And so I would like make these dope ass hats and like these hoodies, and I would go find like random fabric and even upholstery fabric and make like these dope crazy hoodies. And so the person I was with at the time, Hector, he knew a lady who had a flower shop, and that
Oh, okay.
was 7801 on Ogden. And half of her shop, she wasn't doing so well business wise, so she and him decided to rent out the other half for my hats and for
Oh,
my
okay.
hoodies. Yeah, and that's how the hip hop shop started. And so we did that. We painted it. We made it all crazy. And we did all the graph things and everything that we do. And then the other half of her shop, unfortunately, I feel bad for her, but like her business didn't continue, and so we ended up renting both stops. So if you ever came through, I remember you said you came through. There was like this big
Yes.
oval kind of walkway thing in between the two halves,
Mm-hmm.
and so that was both shops, and so it became
How much
a shop.
how much was the
Like,
rent back then to rent one of
oh my
those?
God, I want to say maybe $900 maybe for the both spots.
900.
Crazy
Okay.
ridiculous. Like, but for us back then, that was expensive.
Oh
Because we were
yeah.
kids. Like, we were broke. We were racking everything we had. Like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that it was just like, okay, we got like $900. Let's do it. But, people were coming through and they were buying our stuff. And, I was making these medallions. Like, there was like these leather pieces, kind of the shape of a Krylon can. And I was like,
I wanted to.
that's sick. They were
Yes.
perfectly shaped. And so I would paint them like little Krylon cans, and medallions back then were really big. I know you because you showed your Zulu Nation medallions. It was
Mm-hmm.
big back there. You go. There you go. Everybody was rocking a medallion on some level because I still got my little. I rock my tips right here. These are my used can tips.
Okay.
But I did that. We were rocking like the circle medallions, like you just showed too, and like different shapes. And you know, Hector would do his characters, and I was doing letters, and just my
Medallions were
stuff,
everything.
It
Medallions.
was sick. It was sick. So
Yeah, medallions was everything. Medallions were like, if you
everything.
had a nice outfit, a nice t-shirt with some graph on it, and you had a medallion, it was this
Yeah.
kind of like, it was the way that rappers were like wearing their gold chains to us as
Yep.
underground hip
Especially
hoppers. The
work.
medallion was like, it was equivalent to like having a big gold chain.
That's right. And it showed who you represented. You know, if you
Hmm.
were down with Graph, you'd have a Graph medallion. You were down with the Zulu Nation, you have your Zulu Nation. You know, you have your Rocksteady. You'd have like whatever you're representing, it was on your medallion. You know,
Mm.
your clothes, cool. But you know, your jacket could
But
cover your shirt,
your
but
medallion,
like everything, right? It showed
yeah,
your style, you know?
yeah.
So yeah, that's how it actually started.
Hmm.
I
So
went
you know
down
what
there
was,
a while ago, and it's like a little clothing shop, but it was really nostalgic to go back down there and, you know, show my husband and show my little son. You know, it was pretty cool.
yeah, that place was like the first time that I think I heard about it, I was walking down Melrose and I went to Beats Nonstop.
Oh my God, you went there. Sorry.
Yes, I went to Beat Nonstop. And when I seen Beat Nonstops, we were looking at all the records,
Yeah, yeah.
we kept walking, and then Spike Lee had a store too.
Oh, you did?
Spike Lee, Spike
Oh,
Lee.
that's right. Oh my God, that's right. That all
Hmm.
came after. So we were where
He
the hip
was
hop like, well, Beat Not Stop popped up, and then Extra Large popped up. Remember the
all
VC?
extra
And
large. Let's talk about
we were
extra.
just like, we never
Let's talk.
even went there. Like, we never did that because we're just like, okay, I see what this is, you know?
I want to talk about extra large because a lot of people don't know the history with extra large. Extra large was a shop that the Beastie Boys
That's right.
owned, and what they would do is they would import rare Adidas and Pumas from all over the world and jack up the
Yep.
price.
Yes,
So
we know.
if you wanted to buy classic Pumas that all the B-boys were wearing in Adidas, you went to the extra large store, and
Yep.
then you went down more. So I said, okay. So we went to extra large. We peeped it out. And I walk in and I see Sporty LA.
Oh, Sporty LA right there on the corner.
Right.
That was it.
So I see Sporty LA. I walk in there and I'm seeing all the fat laces, all the Kangos, all the Pumas. And then I
Uh-huh.
look
Hector
and I
actually
see,
painted that mural like years before we started doing this thing.
mhm. And right when I was going to turn the corner, I looked and I see something said hip hop shop. I said, hip hop
Uh-huh.
shop. I said, well, let's go to the hip hop shop.
That's called
So
before
when
the
I,
internet. You had to find us.
you had, exactly, there's no
That's
internet.
because you knew what was going on. You had to find us. There was no internet and phones and stuff, you know?
No phones, no internet.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's how we were walking around, not even knowing. I walked into the hip hop shop like accidentally by just kind of looking around. And I
Uh-huh.
remember when I walked in, I was so excited that I was filming. And
You're gonna you're gonna tell this right now.
you said, hey bro, can you turn off your camera? And I looked at you, and like at that moment, I felt like
Yeah.
I did it, but at the same time, I can understand where you're coming from. But for me, that was like the hip hop shop was basically the feeling of going to 1520 Cedric, the Bronx, because
Yes.
you had the floor, you had all the Pumas,
We had
you had the Kangos in the glass
everything.
case,
Yep.
you had the medallions, you had all the fat laces, everything was
Yeah.
stacked up. So when you said not to record, I was like,
Okay, I gotta give you some backstory on that. Let me help you a little bit with that. We were hitting up like, I don't 10, 15 times a day sometimes with UCs, number one, trying to get
Yes.
information, undercovers
Yeah.
trying to hit us up because there was no internet, there was no phones. Remember that. So there
Mm-hmm.
it comes to us, oh, we have a college report. Can we do a report on you? Can you tell us some history? And we knew straight up they were undercover cops just trying to get the lowdown.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it wasn't just for, oh, you can't film in here. It was like, bro, like people were trying to get the 411 on all of us writers. And
Mm.
everybody was okay. And we were hitting mad destruction. And so I didn't know, honestly, no offense to you, I don't know who walked in, who didn't, but if they're recording, it was like, nah, you know?
Okay.
So I hope that helps your heart a little bit
Yes. Now I can understand that
because
because
it was like, it was
I
a
kind
lot.
of,
Like, people coming to the
right.
shop, like, you trying to hit it. And second to that, people were coming in trying to like bite.
Mm.
And so we had to like, kind of like squash that too. But I
Mm-hmm.
hope that helped your heart.
No, I think it did because,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. 'Cause I didn't
as
mean to
being
be rude.
as being super young, I was so
I know.
excited. So this is my experience. So I turn off the camera and I'm looking around and I see Easy Rock.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at
He was there a lot.
so I come in with I think I had cross color pants, like 45 waist.
Right.
Remember the bigger the
All
better. That was
all
10 times
sagging
my
and buckled up.
size. Yeah, that was 10 times my size. Big old t-shirt down to the knees, and I think I had a 555 soul
Oh,
beanie hat on.
oh my God, 555 Soul. Yes.
555 soul, super young. So I walk in and I look at Easy Rock and he has the straight leg jeans on with the nameplate belt that said Easy Rock
Yeah.
and then a
Yeah.
t-shirt that said West Coast Rock City Crew and he had a ducktail.
Uh-huh.
And I looked at him and I was like, bro, it ain't the 80s anymore.
No, but that's what it was.
That's what it was.
What it
So
was.
in
We
my
were there to
mind,
be our authentic selves, bro. Like I gotta tell you, the biggest thing, my biggest takeaway from that was like take away all the products and stuff that we made and contributed like that. But like it was a safe space, like where people don't talk about and it's not on camera. We'd have kids coming through because we're all kids, but I was what 19, 20, and these guys would be like 15, 16. So to me, I call them kids like in that, respect. Coming through like hanging out with us, like they were hungry and we'd go get them food. Like they'd come and they'd literally sit with us and talk to us about like what the hell is going on at home. And some of that stuff would just like break my heart. Like, some kids are telling us how they wanted to, sorry to say these words, harm themselves, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if I could say that, but it was heartbreaking. And we'd spend hours and time with them. And that's why the shop was so magnetic because it wasn't all about like, oh, we could say hip hop and all that, but what is hip hop? It's the people. It's us. It's fucking us, dude. It's all of us broken people. We're broken in some type of way. So think about it as graffiti writers. Why are my letters so fucking disastrous sometimes? Because I'm getting my emotions out. Why is our rap and our music so like why does it hit you so hard right here? Because we all feel it. We all feel it. Why do those dance moves that hit so hard like hit us here instead of here? It hits our soul when we see somebody
mm,
bust so hard. That means they put in the work. That means they practice hours and hours and hours and hours until they were hurting and bleeding and busted. And then they pulled off the move. That's
mm,
what resonates with us. That's hip hop. That's what the culture is. It's we're
mm,
here together in our brokenness and being here for that.
mm.
That's how I would like nail it down. And the shop
Right.
was a safe like haven for that. Like after the shop closed like so many times, dude. Like, okay, I would say me and Hector were not the smartest with our money because we didn't save it. We would make the money in the day, enough to save it for the rent. And then afterwards, there'd be like a gang of people just hanging out. And we'd be like, are you guys hungry? And we'd go
Mm.
like some spot on Melrose and like just feed everybody, you know? And like
Mm,
that's what for me made that shop so special.
okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you because breaking to me, like it made us come back like in '92, right?
Hmm.
But I wasn't living in LA. I was living up north. So to me, it was pretty much like it was instinct. It was instinct, because I didn't live in Los Angeles, and at that time I lived like at least 250 miles away from LA.
Yeah.
So there was no breaking going on. But I seen something in the Source magazine, and then I started seeing like people that was like Doze and Crazy Legs
Yeah.
and like who else, people that was writing back then, like Dundee and like
Right.
Zephyr, and all those guys, and I was like thinking in my mind, they're bringing it back. So I want to ask
Yeah.
you, like, because during that time there was all these dances was going on,
Right.
and everybody called them freestyle, everybody called them New Jack Swing, and I want to
Not
ask
going
you,
on. It was
you being
about to transition. You're
yeah,
right.
and I want to ask you, you being in Los Angeles at that early stage, when did you start noticing for the West Coast that breaking was making a comeback? Was it before '92?
I would say, to answer that question honestly, I would say I kind of gotta backtrack on that to give you my reasoning.
Okay.
In '92, we closed the shop, and it was because um, Hector and I both were kind of spiritually searching, and we got locked into a church.
Oh, okay. Set free?
So I'm. It's really unfortunate to say that that's the reason why we closed the shop. The shop was
Oh, okay.
banging, like you said. The scene was banging. Breaking was banging. Like, what would have happened if we didn't? You know,
Right.
only the universe knows that.
Oh,
Only
so
the
okay.
universe knows that, bro. Like, we didn't close it because we were like financially like under. It was like this church told us it wasn't like God approved. Like I won't get all into that, but
Mm,
that's what happens. So, to answer your question fairly, would it have continued? Would we have been a part of that? Only the universe
mm,
knows, you
okay.
know?
So, so the hip
Because I
hop
know
shop.
that we were kind of a hub for people to come in, and if they were feeling those old school vibes, like you said, they could explore that. Like even
Mm,
I did. Like I'm not a breaker, not even close, right? But I was like inspired by it, and like I remember like Easy showing me like some up rocks, and Gremlin showing me the oh my god, the floor work,
mm-hmm.
and I pulled off one windmill one time, and I was so happy.
Okay.
Just one though, and then I ate it.
Right.
But I'm not trying to
Right.
even act like I'm a breaker. But that's what I was saying when I said, we all hung out like with like Iceman and Caesar and Chuko was there a lot, and just Pop and Chuck. Every day Pop and Chuck would roll through. Like, so anyway, it's crazy. Like I don't know what would have happened if we had stayed, and I really, if I could go back in time, like the butterfly effect, I don't know, because I love my husband and my kids now. Would that have even happened? I don't know. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But in retrospect, I'm like, that was a dope spot. I really would love to have something like that come back because
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. Vibes and energy are all kind of leaning towards this authentic uh, life that we all
Somebody
live.
said, and
We all felt it. You can't unfeel it, you know?
somebody had mentioned right now in the comments, because I remember Easy Rock used to break at Set Free, and
He
that's
went.
where Set Free.
Okay, okay, okay.
And somebody said they seen you at Set Free.
Probably.
Okay.
No, we're talking like almost 35 years ago. We went everywhere, like everywhere. I remember rolling up to clubs. Like I don't even remember. I couldn't give you the details of. It was this club. It was that club. It was this person, that person. Because it was like we were just in a whirlwind of just go, 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 go.
Mhm.
You know, grandma was always hooking us up with like dance auditions too. And I'm just like, okay, let's go. You know, why not? You know, like, sure.
Oh yes,
So,
Free was in Anaheim. Okay. I didn't know that. Thanks, Cooks, for sharing that. So, okay, so I want to ask you another question, and I
yes,
believe that it started out of your hip hop shop, the birth of the West Coast Rocksteady crew. Like, were you there when like, how did that start? Like, how did that get involved? The reason why I asked how did that get involved, because the birth of the West Coast Rocksteady crew coming out of the hip hop shop started
yeah,
everything. Started like, it was crazy.
yeah.
It was just like, okay, but can you share that to me though, like the birth of West Coast Rock Steady Crew?
Legs came down. It was Legs. It was all him. He came
Do you
down.
know what year that was?
Oh, well, the shop was 90 to 92.
Okay.
So whatever happened, it happened in those 3 years. He came down and he was rocking with us a lot. He was here for like it felt like a long time at that time, like I don't know, a month or so, maybe.
Hmm.
But like he was doing a lot at that time, and he was really rocking with Gremlin, um, Gremlin Mark Ski, um,
Easy Rock?
yeah, no, Easy was always there, but I just remember like them talking a lot, you know.
Okay.
And Gremlin was always pushing. Gremlin was the one that was pushing Rocksteady, West Coast. He was a big pusher of that. Like,
Mm.
I'm going to give mad props to Grims for that. And
Hmm.
he was also pushing for a Zulu Nation out here. And he actually was building a Zulu Nation amongst us. Like, I remember like a 10 crew of us. We took a really dope picture. God, I forgot the guy's name. He came down. Somebody came down to the shop and was like, yeah, he like mad approved us all. And I was like, oh, sweet.
Mm. Okay.
So, I mean, oh God, who was the guy who he came down and he had like an orange like jumpsuit thing?
I'm
God,
trying to
I
remember.
really need to remember his name. But he came down and he like approved the whole Gremlin thing. I got to give mad props to Gremlin on that. He connected with Legs, and Grems was the pusher of Rocksteady and Zulu Nation West Coast, big time.
Okay.
Like that was his goal, and he was doing it. He was dope. Is dope.
I remember I think there was two females that was a part of Rock Steady Crew at that
Yeah,
time though, right?
yeah. Angie, that's the girl with the short hair in your video, and I cannot remember the name of the other girl with the short. She was a dope ass breaker. Angie was a dope ass house dancer. We went to a club, and Angie battled and took their asses out. I was like, oh my
Mm.
God, this girl's sick. Like, is sick. She's sick. They both were. They both were. And they were at the shop a lot. We were always like hanging out. We went to Frisco, to Psycho City, did all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, it was crazy. Those were crazy days.
Yeah, like I said, when I seen the formation of the West Coast Rock Steady Crew, it kind of felt like the Transformers, because now
Yeah,
breaking was gonna get like its
yeah,
official stamp that is back. Because before that, I noticed guys, when they would break, their skills were kind of like real housey. They
yeah.
weren't like this
It started
straight
to
up
evolve. Yep,
B-boy. Yeah.
it started
But
to evolve.
I noticed when West Coast Rocksteady came into the picture, people started taking breaking a little bit more
Yeah,
serious now, because it was official. Because back then everybody used to be tribe, you know,
yep,
Boobala tribe, Lunacy tribe, Jughead tribe. But then you heard Rocksteady
yeah,
Crew. You heard the word
yeah.
crew. When you heard crew, that was breaking.
Right, right. Because that's team, that's family, that's crew. That's what's up. When you got a crew, that's what's up.
And I remember
You're
everybody
part of
that
something
was in
bigger,
Rocksteady.
you know?
I remember everybody that was in Rocksteady had a medallion or a couple of medallions on.
Everybody, you had to wear it. It was a thing.
It was, right?
Yes, dope.
It
That
was.
was so fun, dude. Those whole days were so fun. We always had DJ Penn too. He was like 16. He was always rocking the DJs. We had like
Oh,
a page.
really?
I don't know what he's doing now. I'd love to follow up with him. But
Yeah.
DJ Penn got down. DJ Rob One, rest in peace. You know.
Hmm. So with that being said, though, too, do you know that breaking is going to Paris this summer?
Yes. And
What is your
actually, speaking of, so go.
yes? No. So what is your thoughts on that? That breaking's being inducted into the Olympics this year,
I,
though.
I think it's amazing. When I look at breaking now, I see the videos in my feed. I'm just like, holy crap! These guys are like, they're not just breaking anymore. They're breaking, parkouring, and freaking gymnasticking all at the same time and with style. Like
Hmm.
you can't do what you used to do with me. Like you gotta like bro, no, you gotta step that shit up. Like nah. It's just crazy. It's crazy. It's like skateboarding. I see these guys doing kick flips, landing on the freaking grip tape and sliding and then kick flipping off. I'm like, what the hell is happening with skating? It's the same thing happening with breakdancing. It's crazy. And I
Right.
love that. It's gone like insanity. And like these people are pure athletes. That's why I feel like it's so freaking amazing that they're being recognized for that and going into the Olympics. That's sick. And
Mm-hmm.
working that into the hip hop culture, my crew, UTI, we're like, okay, we're planning on busting walls too, like that embraces all that. And so we're incorporating our culture into the graph scene with what's going to happen now in the Olympics with the breakers.
Yes.
So, little quick heads up. You heard it first.
What's UTI stand for?
Under the influence.
Oh.
That, that's the main reason, but there's 1,000 other ones.
Okay. Were you guys just as big as CBS at that time, or was CBS bigger?
I don't want to compare because CBS is our brother crew, and I don't want to even put that out there like that. I
Okay.
would say CBS was really owning Over the Hill. UTI was owning, 818 Valley, Southgate. We were owning Over the Hill too, but CBS was like every alley down Melrose, every little alley, every nook and cranny was fucking CBS, bro. Like, I give them mad props, mad props. And then we all go down and roll up in Belmont, and just everything would collab, Like, no matter where you were from, Belmont was like where you got up to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We all had our yards. So I'm not going to compare, like, UTI to CBS like that.
Okay.
But, it's like you're just like brothers doing your thing, or sisters doing your thing,
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay, I understand that. Thank you for sharing that too as well.
for sure.
So what does hip hop mean to you today? Like, seeing it like from its early beginnings to where we're at today, like what keeps you so passionate and involved with hip hop today?
Hip hop today is, for me, is the bridge. It's the bridge. When you're feeling some type of way and you got to handle it and you got to get that creativity out, it's the bridge. What it is. Either you're going to lock into your dance or your graph or your rapping or your MCing or your DJing, but you're going to lock into something because that's the ultimate expression. And hip hop for me is ultimate expression. No rules. You are your rules. You make your rules. And you don't like it when nobody tells you what to do. So again, going back to we are our own little kind of pirates, you know what I mean? Like, we can work together on a ship and we can, we can be on a team, but we are our own pirate. Like, I know you started dancing because you were feeling some type of way. And that dance
Yes.
got that out for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I hit a wall, I go big. I never be small because I wanna just express myself.
Can you show the wall right now as we
Yeah.
look? I like to see that.
Yeah, this is the first piece I did kind of when I came back, and it's a chess piece. So she's the queen. It's called Checkmate. And then I got a chessboard kind of going on. It says OMG. And
Okay.
my spot.
Do you know Lady One?
What's up?
Do you know Lady One?
Oh gosh. I want to say I've hooked up with her maybe on Instagram, but not in person.
Okay.
But I know of her.
Yep.
She's
Because she do big Kobe Bryant productions. Like she do big stuff.
She's amazing. Yep. So that's where that's at. And I'm painting again, having fun, doing my thing. And going back to the shop, like the one thing that I really want to leave with this interview is that, Hector was really prominent at that time. That was his kind of heyday in the art
Mm.
world. And so, people say, "Oh, I didn't even know you owned the shop." I just like, oh my God, my heart just, I'm just like, bro. So if I could leave this with anybody, the history of the hip hop shop has a whole story. There's a whole story behind it. And although I use the words, it was our shop, maybe somebody else used the words my shop. And so, you know, like I was like there doing everything.
Mm.
Everything. Like you talk about the shoes, bro, we would get Adidas and like use a model car paint and custom paint the stripes. And then there was a guy next door to us who did shoes. He was like a cobbler shoe guy, and he had these foams, and we would like 3 layers of foams because back then, do you remember the thick shoes?
Mm-hmm.
So we was called like I got so much soul, I got it stacked up on my feet. It's like
Mm.
we'd have these thick ass Adidas with custom stripes, and like I did that. I was, like anyway.
So you guys were actually selling the shoes? I can't really
Yeah, we
remember.
got Adidas, we got the laces, we got everything. We started
How much were you
making
selling the shoes back
design,
then?
airbrushing, Pumas. We were customizing Pumas.
How
Everything.
much were you selling them
Oh
for
my
back
God,
then?
I don't remember. That's a good question. How much were we selling them for? I would say a pair might be 90 or 100. Or
Dang.
a
Okay.
regular pair would be like 20 or 30, but we customize them. So I think we did 90 or 100. That's what I want to
Were they
say. Yeah,
selling? Were they selling back then?
always. Yeah, we're always sold out of those because they're custom. We did them. It's like they got an Omega custom shoe, or like a Hector custom shoe. Like this wasn't something you could buy down the street, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And we'd like get tracksuits. Like we'd find these dope ass Adidas tracksuit, Puma tracksuits that were sick. Like we had some sick shit that was only for the shop, only. And then like finally towards I want to say 92, we opened the second half. So like one of our homies was like doing records. And so
Mm-hmm.
we're like, bro, like, let's do your record shop. And so he had like a whole another station of like fucking vinyls that you couldn't find anywhere. It was so
Mm.
sick. It was everything. It was all the shields of hip hop going on. It was such a culture. It was such a vibe. It was really great. The energy was amazing.
Man, thank you for sharing that. You cleared up a lot of things that I always wanted to know because I remember going to the hip hop shop and looking at Herb magazine, and I would see Chuco in Herb
Oh my
magazine.
God. What was that guy's name that did it? Oh my God, he was always there.
Er,
Who does Herb?
I don't know, but Herb
Oh,
magazine was the
he's
bomb magazine.
gonna kill me right now that I can't remember his name. Sorry, bro.
Herb,
When you see this, I'm
Herb
sorry.
magazine. I seen the hip hop shop in the Herb magazine.
Yeah. Well, oh gosh, is this killing me right now? Okay, I can't remember his name, but so don't get mad, bro, when you see this. He was barely starting Herb. It wasn't even Herb yet.
Oh, it
It
wasn't?
wasn't even Herb yet. It's an idea. And he started, and then he just started really getting really successful, and it became mainstream. And we're like, yeah. Oh my God, he's gonna kill me. Can't remember his
Somebody
name.
said Raymond Roker.
It was Roker, but he went by somebody else. He went by something else. I know it was Roker. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, second to that too. Like I put out a magazine in the shop called OTL. It's called On the
I
Line.
remember that.
You remember OTL? That was
I
my
remember there was.
magazine, bro. That was me.
I remember
Like, okay,
I wanted
like,
that magazine and I bought it because there's an interview with Crazy
that's
Legs in there.
what I'm saying. Okay, so check this out. I would have back then there was no computers like that, right? I had to use like
Hmm.
a typewriter. So to type everything. And then I had like I'd tell people, hey man, bring me your black book. So 20, 30 dudes bring me their black books. And I'd go take them to freaking Office Depot, color copy black and whites of their black and whites. And then in the center, if you were featured, you'd get like a center color copy. And I think the first one I featured Skill and all his color pieces. And then I would type of little thing, and I'd have to like white out the edges so it wouldn't show when I do a black and white copy. I just feel like
Mm.
all day Office Depot, they knew me by name. They're like, you need to work here. I'm like, no, I'm just doing a magazine. But that's how it was back then. And then like, um, remember when the riots hit?
Yeah.
The Riot King riots hit. It was 91, I think. And so we had to empty the shop real quick. And there was
It was actually 92.
92. Okay. And then Swan grabbed one of those magazines. He told me later. He's like, oh, yeah, I grabbed the OTL. I'm like, oh, that's so dope. Because I have none. I have zero. I have no record of it, no pictures, no nothing.
Did
You
they
ask me
break
for
into your
memorabilia? What's
store?
that?
Did they break into your
They
store?
didn't because we literally emptied like five of our friends rolled up with cars and trucks and we like threw shit in the cars just to bone out. And then so when you looked in, it was empty. And so like, okay, cool. And then the crazy thing was like the next day or two, like our friends would roll in and be like, oh yeah, I broke into the Gap, I racked a belt. Like they're coming in and telling us about how they like racked all this shit. I'm like, bro, like this is not okay. Anyway, you know, keep it low key. But that was back then, and we were just like grimy. We were grimy kids. That's what it was. We were grimy. That's the best word I could use. You know, just doing our thing and whatever. I think it might have been Blossom actually. Freaking
Oh,
Blossom.
really?
I think she rolled in and she's like, "Yeah, I got like 5 belts out of the Gap or something." She was funny.
Mm.
But
Thank
yeah,
you, Omega,
anyway,
for sharing.
we're just
Thank
grimy.
you.
It's just grimy stuff.
Yes.
Not even political, not even what today would go, oh my God, you did this, you did that. It doesn't apply to today because we were just grimy kids, you know?
Hmm.
Anyway, sorry, was that a rant?
No, no, it's all good. I just want to say thank you for your time
Yeah.
and sharing this. I'm going to be talking to Mark Ski, and
Yes,
I think I'm gonna get everybody.
that's
I
gonna
think
be
I'm gonna
great.
even reach out to Iceman again, though. Like I'm
Yeah.
gonna go see him. Yeah. So,
Ask
Iceman
him
played a
about
big part of the hip hop.
the garage practices. I just
Yeah.
remember like big sliding door, and I don't know if we had a barbecue. I'm not really sure. I don't remember it, but we were all there, just like breaking. It was hot and sweaty, and I just remember Chuco there, and it was just so dope. He had like a vinyl on the floor. That's what I
You know
remember.
what I remember hearing? I heard it on the radio, and I didn't get a chance to come down that weekend, but I heard that there was gonna be a battle between Rocksteady and Air Force at the hip hop shop.
Maybe that would have happened if we didn't close.
Yeah.
Because that video you showed, that was our big, like, we had a break rap battle
Hmm.
line of people because we could only let in, like, I think we had like 30 people at a time because it was too
Hmm.
crowded. There was like 300 people waiting, any given time. And I think the break battle was actually happening too across at Fairfax.
Hmm.
So in the shop, your video was like dudes just kind of getting down, but that wasn't the battle.
Mm.
That was just people like getting down.
Yeah.
But the rap battle was epic, dude. It was epic. That happened in the shop. But yeah, if anybody has footage of that Fairfax side, that'd be dope.
Okay. I'm gonna try to see if I can get in touch with people about it. I'm gonna reach out.
Yeah,
But thank you once again for your time, Omega.
thank you, man. Thank
It,
you.
it was a pleasure, finally getting that, like I said, because that always ringed in my head to this day when you said, bro, can you turn off the camera?
I'm
And I was
so
like,
glad I could help you with that because honestly, bro, like I felt bad when you said that. I'm like, oh my God. Like literally, we were just under like we had to kind of keep the shields up, you know what I'm saying?
mm,
Shields up and protect the culture from the cops who were always trying to come in and we didn't know who was who,
mm,
and the fact that there was some stuff in there that like I think I mean I wouldn't have mind being on camera, but I think the other party would have something to say about it. You know what I'm saying? But
I think I remember seeing a 187 on the cop t-shirts in there.
yeah,
And I
we
remember
got
I remember that was a problem in LA.
a lot of it, a lot of it. One time, like low key, I don't know why I was in a cop office. I think I got sweated for something. And again, there was no computers yet, but like there was these thick ass files on their desk. He was in charge of graffiti tasks, and he had a thick ass file on all of us.
Mm,
So, again, that was before computers, before people were like, ding, ding, ding. But, we were just like hella this, you know?
I remember that one A7 on the cop T-shirt was a hot seller. I remember that one. I seen it. I remember I
Yeah.
was like, bro, like that one and the Zulu Gremlin shirt.
Yes. And we had a Cryline shirt too. Like I did the
Nylon shirt.
Cryline
Yeah.
shirt. Yeah, for sure.
Three shirts to me were like, I forget how much were they back then? Were they like
25,
25 or 30?
yeah, $25. I feel like
Yeah.
that's a good deal for a shirt. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
But we had like, not just the design of the shirt, but like what made us different too was we'd go like really heavy on the ink. And
Mm-hmm.
so we made it feel like really thick. Like sometimes the shirt collars would be like dragging back, and you feel all hot, but like it was wearing so much stuff that's thick. It felt like you were wearing a fucking billboard for your culture. It really,
Oh, true.
yeah, it was dope. It was dope. It was
Mm.
super dope.
Okay. Thank you, Omega. Hope
You
that
too,
you
man.
have a good rest of the day. And
You too.
I'll run into you for sure.
Okay. All right. It was an honor. Thank you. Privilege. Appreciate
Thank you.
you pulling down the archives because that's really what's going to set everything in motion, which I'm with you on that. Let's set it in motion, bro.
That's how I feel, though. That's
Yeah.
why I feel like even with this being said, I know that these
Yeah.
videos are going to be used for future references because I know once breaking go into the Olympics,
Yeah.
everybody's going to start looking back and wondering like, where did it start?
Yeah. And you're that guy right now holding it down. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really pushing for that. I'm going to just ride this whole year out by just speaking to all the originals. I'm even going out to the Bronx.
Nice. Wow. Nice. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Do you
I'm
know
gonna go to the
that
Hip Hop Museum
guy
in the
out
Bronx.
do you know Lobo?
Yeah.
Get with Lobo. He's
Hmm.
in Eureka right now. And he's got stories for days. I was just painting with him last month.
Oh, really?
Stories, bro, like OG stories. You're gonna love
Can,
getting connected with him.
can you send me his Instagram if he has one?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Get with Lobo, bro. All
Alrighty.
right.
Thank
All
you.
right. Take care. Have a great
You
one,
too.
man. I'll see you on the next one.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.